Well, good morning. I got a little bit of sleep last night. I went to hear my friend Sybil Gage sing last night. That's the second night in a row I've gone to hear some music, and I only got 2.5 hours laying down before I'm up waiting to do this video and preparing to get the video ready. And that'll take me another close to an hour before I'm back in bed again. Anyway, the title for the video today is See No Evil, Hear No Evil. And it magically disappears. I'm so tired of the avoidance beliefs and tactics of my spiritual community. As long as they thought I believed what they do, that everything is in perfect order with God's plan unfolding, I had support. As soon as I started telling the truth, the obvious truth they love to deny, there was an exodus of friends. Do they really believe things on this planet are in some kind of divine order? I think they bought into that lie, sold by teachers even I held in respect for too long. Can there be an awakening when so many refuse to take a stand? Can the kingdom of heaven manifest on earth when so-called spiritual people practice non-action, accepting whatever evil befalls their brothers and sisters? Personally, I think not. All religion is involved in the scam, no exceptions. With the onset of New Thought and New Age teachings, humanity was lulled to sleep, expecting what never was and never will be, substantial change without personal involvement of a significant number of people. Because of this, manifestation of a true and just society has been delayed. What will it take to wake these sleepers up? It's not magic. Oh, Lord. As I read this, I chuckle. And yet, at the same time, I'm saddened by some of my best friends. I mean, my friend Armand has been a good friend for so long, and he depends on the New Thought churches for the vast majority of his programs. I mean, he's a singer, and he sings and performs in these churches, the new what am I saying? The Unity churches and the Science of Mind churches. This is probably 90% or more of his primary audience, and so it's a big leap for him to agree with me, and so he's one that comments because he loves me and I love him and I love Angelina, and they're people that I greatly respect, and yet they have to hold on to these beliefs of non-involvement because of 501c3s. I want you to understand that 501c3s are put in place by the cabal to control the churches so that they don't spill the beans and tell the truth about what's going on politically so that people can wake up. Now, in the particular case of my local churches, bear in mind that a large percentage of the congregations in these local churches have worked for NASA and other government agencies for a long time. I mean, this is where their bread is buttered, so to speak. And it's difficult for them, it would be extremely difficult for them to take a stand against what they would see as, this is where I earn my living from. I can't stand up to this. I can't speak out. And yet the silence allows so much injustice to continue. As I said, all of the religions are involved in a scam. They've all been watered down to some degree or another, especially the Islam, Christianity, and Judaism, and I did that in reverse order from how old they each are. They are the ones that have been involved in the scam most. I mean, the cabal uses these religions to actually end up fighting with each other. And I have so many of my friends that are anti-Islam. I mean, I'm talking about spiritual people and spiritual groups that I belong to. They still propagate anti-Islamic material. And I know personally Muslims who are wonderful people. It has nothing to do with their religion. It has to do with their hearts. And I wish people would get beyond the labels and look at people's hearts. I believe if there's a God, that's what God does. He looks at our hearts, not at the outward appearance, not at the names, not at the labels that we've adopted, but he looks at what kind of life we live. Do we love our neighbor as ourselves? And that starts with loving ourselves. Do we have respect for ourselves and our ideas? Are we willing to take a stand for what we believe in our heart is the truth, or are we silenced by the outward conditions that would try to limit us from speaking the truth and standing in truth? I mean, it's a catch-22, folks, and it's a catch-22 put in place that limits our ability to bring the substantive changes into effect that need to be brought into effect in order for a world to work fair and justly. It'll never happen as long as money is the object, and money is the object because that's what's controlled. They say, well, we can't speak out against anything political because if we do that, we lose our tax exempt status, and then they're going to come down on us. In other words, they're afraid of the Illuminati, of the cabal, doing what the Illuminati and the cabal have threatened to do: take away their 501c3 status, their tax exempt status. So they're limited in their ability to tell the truth, and they water down on purpose because it's a necessity, as they see it, to do this. So it's a horrible catch-22, and it holds a lot of people in a very serious place, because while I'd like God to miraculously provide the resources necessary, including extraterrestrial resources or whatever, to facilitate real change on the planet, it to a large degree requires the cooperation and the blessings of those who hold spiritual principles to be in a place of high esteem. And I do believe that most honest religious people of whatever religion do exactly that. They hold the truth in high esteem. And the basic truth of loving our neighbor, and the basic truth of putting spiritual principles at a high level of our conscious understanding, these are foundational and must be put into effect if we are to facilitate real change on earth. I wish I could snap my fingers. I wish God would snap God's fingers and just bring the changes that need to be into effect so that we can be free. That's what I want. I want it for myself. I want it for my brothers and sisters. I want to be free to love one another and to stop worrying about the financial impediments that have been put in place to limit us. We are all much more wealthy than we thought because the cabal stole our wealth, claimed it for themselves, and sold us into slavery and bondage. We need to wake up, folks. Thank you for listening, and namaste.